It's nothing but frustrating to work or study but to see no improvement. Or maybe there is an improvement, but you just don't see it. Today, I want to talk about the intermediate plateau, how to know you've reached it, why have you, and what to do about it.
I can hear your voice.
Hi, I'm Julie. I make English easy, structured, and stress-free. And if you like my videos, please give me your thumbs up, and also there is this pretty red subscribe button below. Hit it and I will be grateful to you forever. The topic of intermediate plateau is especially close to my heart because I've been there. And I clearly remember myself fighting through the intermediate stage of my learning. First, how I knew I was there, and that's basically how we all know. I stopped seeing the progress. But before that, it looked like all the necessary grammar was already clear. I could use it freely and more complicated stuff was simply avoided. My speech was quite fluent to have a conversation on topics I was familiar with. I could read texts and quite easily get the general grasp of them. All the words that I found unfamiliar in the text didn't make me rush to the dictionary, check their meanings, note it down, try to memorize and use it, because I could almost perfectly understand the context. It was pretty much the same with listening, and when it came to writing, I could quite easily express myself on topics, again, that I was comfortable with, using the language that didn't make me struggle. What's more, there was no urgent need to improve my vocabulary, to work on my listening skills, to improve my writing and grammar, because I was pretty much comfortable with the level I had. But at that time, I didn't realize that it was a trap. So I let myself fall into it. It happened right after I returned from the States, when I spent a year in Alaska studying at a high school, learning English as well as all the other subjects. I just thought that I was the best at English. But even though I considered myself being so perfect, I still avoided British accent because I couldn't understand a word in it. I'm being serious right now. I wouldn't watch the news, nor would I read authentic news articles, because the language there was too difficult for me, and I just thought that it was unnecessary. When it came to speaking, I felt way more comfortable to rephrase what I was going to say, to change the phrase completely, to simplify it, just not to spend time to find the exact way to word it. The reason why all this happened was because I was already comfortable with what I had. The situation changed when once during the English class I heard a girl who was my classmate answering the teacher's question better than I did. I knew she was going to take her IELTS exam and was preparing for it. And I also knew that her target score was 7.5. But before that situation, I'd always thought that we were around the same level, with me being, of course, slightly better than her. And it got stuck with me. So I started working. I decided that I wanted my English to be better than hers, that I wanted to be advanced, proficient, whatever, but not intermediate. I had no idea how to structure my work at that time. And I also didn't have any money for a tutor to guide me through this step by step. Of course, there was blood, sweat, and tears, but I didn't progress for quite a long time. I tried to learn tons of new words, practiced listening in tears most of the time. I read all the text in the student's book, but still it wasn't enough. No progress. Then I decided that I badly needed more input. That's why I started watching films in English in British accent. I decided that the things that I hated should be the first things I had to target. While watching a movie in English, I started to write down every single word I heard in the movie. And of course, there were a lot of blanks in what I'd written. So I rewatched the episode again and again to catch the words and phrases that I didn't hear. And only after completely giving up on a certain word or a certain phrase that I could no way figure out what it was, I turned on the subtitles and checked myself. And mastering new words has become much easier from that time on. I also read quite a few books in English, but what I tried to focus most on was articles. So what I did with the articles was retell them. With the books, it was retelling the chapters I went through. My speech became richer, more fluent, and way more accurate. Grammar was a whole different story, but what I did was study it from IELTS textbook, and then I went to Murphy's grammar book and studied it again from there, every topic. I would top it all off with doing countless practice tests. So what happened was that I could finally build the grammar mind map for myself that I was comfortable with. I also practiced writing a lot. Most of the time I used the essays that I found in IELTS textbook as examples for my own writing. Writing stopped being a problem for me, especially after I got the hang of how the texts should be structured. I told this story for you to know that almost every person who learns English struggles with getting out from the intermediate zone to the C1, C2 zone. And this story also clearly illustrates that to become advanced or proficient in English, you have to do something you were uncomfortable with before. Your pains and aches in English is probably the way you should choose to go. I hope you enjoyed the video and that all my advice was useful. So please subscribe, there is going to be a lot more new videos coming out. Thank you for having me and bye for now.